because you're like my family and I care. So I take the time out and I like to listen. I'm trying not to talk as much, I'm trying to listen more because I love you guys. I know the concerns in this room. I know where your hearts are at. And just to encourage you guys, trust in God with all your heart. Don't depend on your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge God, and He will make your path straight. That is Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. That's my favorite proverb right there. That's yours too, isn't it? One of yours? I mean, I can't emphasize enough how much that proverb moves the heart. Because all I want to do is please my Father. That's all I want for you guys as well. Please God, and He's going to direct your path. I'm kind of getting a little sidetracked, but that's the Holy Spirit right there, Like I just want you guys to know the calling in your life. Rise to your calling. So, I'm going to continue back on to verse 41. Goliath walked out towards David with his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt with this ruddy-faced little boy. Am I a dog, he roared, David, that you come at me with a stick? And he cursed David by the name of his gods. Come over here, I'll give you your flesh to the birds and the animals, Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, you come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Father of the heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will cut off your head, and I will give it to the dead bodies of your men, to the birds and the wild animals. See, he had faith. I don't know about a guy like that going up to a big dude saying, hey, dude, I'm going to cut off your head today and serve it to your people and to the animals. Because you know what? You have defied God. I don't want to defy God. Something like that, I ain't going to go against that. I don't want to lose my head. I like it where it's at, But that just angered Goliath even more. A little dude like that coming up to me saying this? Are you kidding? Like, how much pride do you think Goliath had? He's like, whatever, dude. You know what? Everybody falls. Everybody falls. Pride comes before the fall every time. So what happened? All right. Let's see what happened. Well, you guys all know the story. I can only imagine what was going through David's mind and his heart as he's facing battle. He starts running towards Goliath, swinging his sling, right? Imagine just running up to him, right? He's like, all right, Lord, just guide my stone and kill this giant before me. And sure enough, he was really fast. Because he didn't have all that armor, okay? He didn't have all those things weighing him down, that weigh us down every day. This world wants us to believe that there's security in this and that, and alarm systems and national security and all these things are to make us safe. But it's false security. And sometimes it'll just weigh you down and keep you from doing what God has called you to do. So if you just trust in God, where you are at, He can use you. Whether you're a sheep herder, whether you're on the streets, whether you're an associate pastor of a church, or whether, you just got sober, whatever. He could use you wherever you are, okay? And we don't need these false securities, because they'll just end up weighing us down. And that's what David did. God bless you. So that stone flew through the air and hit Goliath and killed him. So David did what he said he was going to do when he cut off his head with his own sword. He took this big, huge sword. I can only imagine the size of this thing. You know, when he took his big sword and chopped his head right off. Okay? Battle done. And because David rose to his calling and had faith that God would carry him through, he became king, going on to do many, many great things. And I'm not going to get into what David did later on, but he became king because he rose to the calling and had faith that God would triumph over all. There's not anything in this world. It might look intimidating and scary and what have you, but you have to have faith in God that He's going to carry us through and be victorious. Not by our strength, not with our weapons and our shields, but with our faith. He will use the things that you have currently and use those things for His glory. We all have talent. There's so much talent in this room. Like there's musicians, there's artists, there's just great speakers. There's so many good people in this room. And God can use those things. You just need to use those things for His glory. And He will help you overcome any obstacles, those hurdles that come in our life, and they will come. Just because we're believers in Jesus doesn't mean we're going to have it easy. In fact, we're going to have it a little harder because the world is against us. As a believer, we need to stick together and read our Bible and pray constantly for each other. We need to do this on a regular basis because this is a battle. This is two armies meeting, and there's a big field, and that field is earth, this world, as you see it. And on one side of the army is God's army, and on the other side is Satan, and everybody he has brought down. Who's going to rise to that calling and stand up for truth and God and His ways? You are. You are. You can't depend on anybody else. You have to do it. You have to rise to your calling and what God has placed on your hearts. You guys have the strength to do all of this and more. Because God is